I'm Kevin Coleman with the Sata Post, and I'm at the After Chillicothe Council, and the two of you came and spoke about a worthy organization. Can you introduce yourselves?
I'm Sharon Verhoff. I was 6 times president at the Assistance House back in time. I am no longer, but there is now good people who have taken the place to make sure that the worthy working poor, and really that's not the way to say it, working citizens of Chillicothe have an opportunity to make things work for themselves and their families.
Yes, and I'm John Thacker, a current board member, and certainly very cognizant of the work that she has done and other people before me to what we call help us, help others. I think that's a slogan that we use.
It's a good one.
It's, I think, a niche that some other organizations do not fill, or do not fill quite the way we do, and that is working people that are focused, not only helping with rental assistance or utility bills, or even things like providing diapers,
Right.
shoes for working on surfaces that are that a person might need for their work.
We used to have clothes, and we don't do that any longer because there was some concern with workers who said there could be bugs or whatever, and so we eliminated that. But we used to have a lot of clothing that would be donated and people would take those home with them, but we don't do that any longer. We provide other things. That's why we're looking for $20,000.
Yes, with the city, perhaps we'll be able to help us with that, so we can provide even more assistance, especially to people here in Chillicothe who, again, are the working, who just need a little bit of a boost up to keep them working so they can pay taxes and put money back into the system.
You mentioned that this was begun by Richard Enderlin, who has was
Colonel.
quite a philanthropist in his day.
Yes, he was, and it was 1914. He really, that was a century and a decade ago that he was really instrumental. But it was because there was a smallpox. No, what did I say?
Actually, polio.
Polio. It was a P. I'm sorry, and he did an awful lot of good work with all of those kinds of things until that was actually eradicated, and it still comes about today, but at the same time not like the horror it was at the time. And so that was his real push. We have taken that on, as others have after that time, to make sure that those who are working and struggling, and there are many people who struggle and don't come to us because not that they don't know where we are, but because they're too proud, or but all of a sudden you have to. You just have to. And we need the money to be able to serve them.
I actually do.
So what is, we said some of what you do. What is the general focus of the Assistance House?
Was to provide assistance to those who are working. They have to be employed, and they have to be then available to come in to be interviewed and see what we can do for them and with them. And we have wonderful people who really do day-to-day work with each of those clients who come, and they provide what they can based on what the need is.
And you said that you have a website or a Facebook page?
There is.
Yes, you know what, I'm probably going to get this wrong, but it is thealliancehouse@gmail, probably .org, but if not, try something else.
Yeah, the assistance.
And also a Facebook page.
You mean
which would
Assistance
be the
House?
Yes, the Assistance House.
You said Alliance.
Sorry.
It's an A.
Yeah. The Assistance House.
And so people can find you maybe in the phone book too?
Assistance House, and it'll show you all of these things.
That's right.
Google is helpful in those regards. But again, to remind you that what we're asking for the City Council is to be able to provide more utility assistance as well as for rental assistance. It normally would be around $300 max, and it's intended only to make sure that they can, with their own resources, just get past that point so they aren't sent out onto the street trying to be people working, but also homeless, which is very difficult and unfortunately does happen in the city as well.
So to give just a little assistance when as needed.
As needed.
Yeah.
You mentioned you're asking the city for, is it 20?
$1,000 for 40 families. And I think that is what has been determined by the board. Am I right about that? And so that is the need that we thought we could ask for. We could ask for more, but we
Primarily
aren't.
for the assistance. There may be a small portion of it that might go towards administration because there unfortunately are costs we have to rent the space that we use at Mount Logan School, which, by the way, on Thursdays has walk-in services between 9 and 1:30.
There you go.
For your group?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes.
What's
Twice
at
a
Mount
week
Logan?
they have hours available between 9 and 1:30. On Monday, it's with scheduled appointments for people that call in and set up appointments as their need, you know, to determine their need and what we can do for them. We just started a walk-in on Thursdays. That walk-in period just to give people who might have a little difficulty getting there at a particularly scheduled time, because these are working people, so that they could perhaps work it a little better, a little easier.
And this is all with Assistance House?
Yes.
Yes, it's located on the east side.
The old Mount Logan School.
If you go back towards where the playing fields are, it's just right there. You just ring the buzzer and somebody will say, "Who are you?" No, they'll ask you what you're calling about, and then go from there.
Okay. So
Very
you're
talented
asking,
people who are volunteers, as well as a few counselors who are paid, you know, for a little bit of time. So
Right.
that's why we do need to have a little bit of money for administration, just to be able to pay them for their time.
so you're asking the city for 20,000 to help 40 people. How much do you usually help people a year, and what is your annual budget?
That's all recorded. I don't
must confess, I
have a
don't have
memory
all
of
them.
that at
I
this
think that
point.
I saw mentioned in the proposal that Margaret made to the city council that about 128 people have been through the first 9 months assisted in one form or another. These 40 would actually be for rental, and then 40 for utilities, so perhaps as many as 80.
Okay.
Again, it depends on what the need are, and we've always noticed that there's a need for it. We wish we could accommodate more of that need.
Well, in 110 years, there are a lot of other social services and other assistance, so it's nice to see that this sort of privately created foundation is still working and still trying to help people.
Absolutely.
So is there a phone number you can write offhand? If you know?
Offhand, I'm so sorry, but
Yes,
it
there
is
is, but you
so
don't
It's in
easy.
the phone book.
It is doable. I know we used to be the best kept secret in Chillicothe, but people do find us who need us.
I will have to I have to get my bus. So.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank both of you.
Thanks.